Hello, you awesome friends. This is your pal, Edward here speaking. I'm very lucky to be interviewing another global powerhouse expert on Interviews with Edward. And this one is being done on Saturday, the 4th of April, 2020, at about 11:30 a.m. in Sydney. Now, we're very lucky to have a very, very powerful friend and global leader. We have got information risk management and global human intelligence expert, Mario Bekes, with us. How are you today, Mario?
I'm very delighted you have me on your podcast, Edward. I'm truly privileged. Thank you for having me. I'm fine. It's Saturday morning, and something I never experienced before. It is to have the online meetings on Saturdays because the situation with this crisis with virus. But I'm delighted to. I see that I can work online and talking to the expert like yourself. So thank you once again for having me on your podcast.
Now, it's an absolute pleasure. And for the sake of our fans, I've known Mario for years. He's a very, very powerful global business leader. He works with very high-end governments and CEOs across the world and does a lot of business in Europe, Middle East, and, of course, Australia. And Mario, just for the sake of the audience, can you tell us what you do? Because it sounds really, really cool. Tell us exactly what you do.
I'll just at brief beginning. I always want to be the astronaut. I want to go into space, exploring the space. However, when I was 14 years old, I was born in a country, behind the Iron Curtain, Yugoslavia, communism. So 14 years old, I went to military school. Then broke civil war. So I have the continuity of the 10 years in military as a professional soldier and NCO, and in combat 6 years. Then military security intelligence services. Then by just pure accident, I wanted to shorten my life in government service. I wanted to be a father, have a family. They found me the good job for me. Told me, Mario, listen, we have a good job for you. How about diplomacy, 007 lifestyle? Well, it's not 007 lifestyle. It was a world of intelligence. And I was sent in Australia to work in Croatian Embassy in Canberra. And then the continuity here in Australia was a natural straight away. I was being made redundant during the GFC, good corporate position. And then I said to myself, it's time to use my knowledge and help other businesses across the globe. So what I'm doing, I have the business inside intelligence group, which basically provides the investigative intelligence solutions for corporations, insurance companies, banks. I'm writing the books, the lecturing and training and educating corporations and some other sectors across the globe in investigative intelligence methods. And basically, when you submit all of this, it's an information risk management point of view. Information, investigation, intelligence, analyzing competitors, industrial espionage, theft, fraud, criminal investigation. So, in a nutshell, that's basically what I do.
Wow. And of course, obviously protecting the confidentiality of the government work that you do. You work all across the world, don't you? What are some crazy places in the world you often work? Of course, within confidentiality.
Look, I will say Middle East is very challenging because, it looks very attractive. However, it's a different culture. When you find yourself in an environment like a Middle East, it's not what you know, but how you behave yourself, because the client expecting that you adhere their cultural aspects of the lifestyle, and they are very, very different. Let's say in Emirates, I didn't know that Friday and Saturday, it's for them Friday, Saturday, it's for us like Saturday, Sunday. So, you're working across those days, and everybody says to me, why are we working? Because it's our day off. The challenge it's a language, it's demographics, clients' needs. Is not every client across the globe has the same needs. And that's a very important thing to understand, where you can't just give the blanket solution for everybody. You need to tailor it. It's not the same pharmaceutical industry, manufacturing industry, or government sector, or insurance companies. Everybody has a different needs. I'm providing those needs. I'm tailoring solutions for them to reduce the cost of investigation, loss of information due to industrial espionage, economical espionage, and particularly now during the COVID, there are many companies experience the loss of information in cyber territory through internal employees or outside companies that are trying to gather much possible information, because it's a warfare. It's a war over there.
Wow. And I was going to ask you, going straight into the heart of the topic, How has the coronavirus pandemic globally, how has that impacted the governments and clients that you work with?
This is a type, it's every government declared a war on invisible enemy. You must understand that you agree with me as ex-military. There was a collision of the two worlds, East and West, for almost 60 years, Cold War. And everyone was preparing for themselves for the onslaught of the nuclear war. And subsequently, everyone was building the weapons and methodology as a deterrent. So nuclear war never happened, as we know. However, biological warfare and chemical warfare, it's a reality. We never know that some government, let's say like Iraq or some other popular countries across the globe, could release some biological weapon. And unfortunately, there is no great preparation on this one. I think that every government on the world has been annihilated with the onslaught of this COVID-19. Now, everybody experienced different, impact of the COVID-19. When a small problem occur, everybody try to oversee that problem, or we can fix it, or risk management framework can work on this. How the virus progressed across the globe and make it one big prison, 2/3 of the human population is being in prison, basically, as both of us. Yeah. Every government try to do the best. Australian government doing the best job in the planet. I have no doubt. I'm seeing across the globe.
Absolutely. And I'm not just saying it because I love the government, but you got to say the Australian government is absolutely doing the best they possibly can in this crazy situation.
Yeah, but the corporations actually didn't calculate the risk, and that's the downfall for many of them. It's called predictive analysis, which is basically some of the services I'm offering to my clients. It's foreseeing what cannot be seen, and that's how you start building your risk management framework. Now, it's a lot of information over there. We are daily bombarded, and we make a judgment on information we're receiving. Either the social media, it's a media, and I can see there's a less tendency that people listen to government sources, which is the most accurate. There's no conspiracy, but the business is failing because in an ocean of information, that causing the biggest hurdle. And I always say to my clients, concentrate yourself on the sources which verified, and the information we can, outsource. They are not just verified, but the source is validated. Government sources are validated. I don't go into social media, people talking there's a cure, there's a this and that. If government says we have a 5,000 infected, it's a 5,000 infected. We should stay home, we should stay home. Now, COVID, everybody's being affected differently, and I truly believe that resilience, it's nobody's fault, but I truly believe that this moment right now should be taken as a learning curve to prepare themselves for the future, because we don't know it's going to occur, another one not. But if it occurs, we know how to react. And I truly believe that many businesses actually fail because they base decisions on sources which are not validated, and the sources which you can't trust it.
Because on that note, it's funny, and again, we're having this conversation the other day, and for the sake of our wonderful viewers out there, there's so much, again, I don't want to name any sources, of course, but I tell you what, there's been so much fake news everywhere. There's just been misinformation, fake news. And I'll tell you what, I don't know about you, but every time I open a social media platform, with the exception of LinkedIn, of course, LinkedIn's quite good, but
yes,
on certain other platforms, there is just, all I see is just people sharing fake news. And I'm not saying they mean to, there's just so much misinformation. What's your take on all the fake news and that going on?
Look, every situation, every crisis brings another obstacle. Some businesses looking for salvation, some looking for the hope, and they're the group of the people who knows how to manipulate these waters, offering hope or solution or salvation. But as I say, you cannot, as a risk management framework, every business should have that some source of information. You cannot go on those untrusted sources because first, it's misleading. Secondly, you're using time and energy which you don't have, or you need to preserve for something else. And thirdly, you can make a judgment based on something which is not prudential for you or the beneficial for your business. So it should be dismissed. If the Prime Minister of Australia says, we should stay at home, it should stay at home. You don't go on social media looking for the excuses. But that's the way how the most of businesses and the individuals doing. Important thing it is, you need to listen. Survival depends on the five senses. It doesn't depend on nothing else. So information, it can be absorbed as a tangible and intangible. You see it, you hear it. You can't touch it, you can't taste it, but you can smell. But the thing it is, if you're using a couple of these senses of information, you see something's wrong there, you should straight away diminish and dismiss and move on a source which is trustworthy. And I was like, that's a now predicament on survival, because this is survival mode basically.
Wow, I think that's very, very well said. And so on a personal level, let's really bring it down to people like us. What's your top advice to us? So not talking globally, talking on a real local level. What's your top advice to people like you and me, entrepreneurs and professionals? How do we best survive and thrive during Corona? What's your advice on a real day-to-day personal level?
Well, that's a good question. Thank you for asking. We all have the different businesses, but we all have the common goal: providing services or products to the clients, and make it a benefit for all of us in society. Either you'll be remunerated somehow, or clients get to get best product or service. Now, everybody's expected differently. Now, if you take in consideration, and you watch the boxing, Edward, the boxers when the box. Yeah. So imagine the corporation before the boxing. That's what most of us will get in, because we have the smart people organization, they are great risk management analysts, great economists, and so on. Now, the boxers before the fight, he gains the weight, and corporation gains the weight. Every business gains the weight. We get new printer, staff, everything else. But before the fight, you need to have the fighting weight, which means you need to reduce something to continue fighting. You can't sustain yourself now with the weight before. Either this is more staff, is it more clients, is it some type of other burden obstacles? You need to reduce them into fighting weight when you're optimum, even keeping one product or one service and continue this one. Because eventually this is going to finish, you know that. And you help so many people there, thousands of people that be visible on the internet and being visible as entrepreneur influencers like myself. And I'm grateful that I'm your client. And learning from you. The point which was you need to reduce the way to fight, to be fighting weight. Now, secondly, if information is a key component, you need to learn, you and I and everybody else need to learn from this experience. Where did I fail? Is that too much weight for me, or is too much, energy spinning on a wrong direction? Because even this is obstacles appearing everywhere. We can retooling, as the New South Wales government says, find a different product and service and sustain. But basically, I will suggest everybody to be in touch with you, because you're motivating people. Truly, it is. You make them, feel comfortable with their product or services, and you continue that sanity. Sanity is very important. So fighting weight, lose the weight in sense of reduce something from your business and come into the fighting weight, and then you're going to continue. Chinese are, it's very interesting. If you look their model, and their model, it's a part of the book Three Wars, and a soft economic and military power. So they know how to manipulate now themselves. They look there as a savior across the globe. So they reduce the weight of everything else, but they're continuing helping everybody else. So we can learn from them. They go around the globe. We can give you masks. We can give you this. We can, this and this and this. So they know how to fight, not just Corona, but as well new audience, getting sympathies there. It's a basically war of information. So everybody needs to take a care to be in contact with someone like yourself to say, Edward, I have the message there. How I can convey this message? I drop everything on a fighting weight. How I can convey this message out? Because in this crisis, everybody is going to have somebody and need somebody with some type of service or product.
And it's on that note, and just for the sake of the audience, yesterday, just for the sake of the audience, Mario runs a very, very successful Sydney radio show
Thank you.
on 90.5 FM Alive. And we actually were on your radio show yesterday, and we shared that interview this morning.
Yeah.
And following on from that, and again, to bring the audience into the universe here, is that one of the big things that we spoke about yesterday was that you have to change quickly. And I love what you're saying, because I guess what you're saying is, Mario, is you got to remove the bloat from your company and you need to change and react quickly. That's great to expand on that. That's really cool.
It's a blitzkrieg. It's a blitzkrieg technique. It hit us so hard. It's a maximum force on a single objective, which is us humans. Our way of lifestyle is being disrupted, not the businesses. We're still meeting online. We can still communicate. Okay, we can't have the coffees as we used to have, but I truly believe that are the opportunities. Like if you're seeing the wars in the past, they're being fought not just on the front but at the back. You are the ex-military man. Now, I truly believe being visible in this moment is very important, and keep being visible after this crisis.
Yes.
Because my fear, there's going to be a lot of gurus and a lot of people who you can see now, they're going to come surface and going to say this is done. But it's important that business who is striving now stays afloating now, this very moment. But when the moment of crisis ends, to become more visible and tell the clients, I'm happy, I sustain my business, I survived this crisis. Now I know the framework, how I can do in next crisis. And that's a confidence for the future clients.
Yeah, and I got to say, I love that. And it's just such well said, Mario, in that, again, you're saying we survive now, learn the lessons, remove the bloat, do what we need to do. So when the corona ends, we absolutely take off. And it's funny, actually, that's exactly our glorious Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, actually says the same thing.
It's important thing is people forget one thing. Once when it's finished, we're going to come from this new life, they're calling now, but we're going to come out and everyone's going to run into coffee shop. I want a coffee. So people's open coffee shops. Yeah. So, people are commuting and everything else. They're going to look out to pass the story, to express, look, during the hibernation, as we call this crisis, I created new software, I created new product and everything else. This is very important thing it is. And that's what I want, people understand. Information now collected and people surrounding themselves with people like yourself, it's an imperative. It's hard. It's hard. It's everybody's being hit same. The virus doesn't choose the color, skin, or religion or the wealth. We are all being put on away. But when you see the medical staff, police, fire brigades, government is there every day. They can be infected. So why I can't stay at home? And associate myself with the people like yourself, who's a global influencer, who's helped thousands of people. Passing that message. And I truly believe that you should, Edward, be the hub for many of us passing proper message, because it's an ocean of misinformation there. And this is the age of war, information war. It is truly, everybody's fighting on media, social media to get attention with some type of exclusivity, and their business is being misled. Instead of find a validated source, and like source you can trust, which is yourself or somebody else you can refer, and that's the direction should be going. United we stand, divided we fall.
Oh,
that's what it is.
That's well said, and you just brought up a good point, and I know we're on this one. Just a big thank you to our nurses, police, and military and government. You're all doing
big
great.
Thanks to them. Yeah, they are the one who doesn't complain, they go home, they look after family, and they're fighting this invisible enemy. But this will end. Eventually, this will end. And economical maps going to be shifted. Different products and sales going to emerge. And new heroes and leaders like yourselves going to come to the world stage. Because it's very important now who is the leader. Now is the time when you, as a person, galvanize people. As I say, come back to the China. China is a great example. Their ideology, it's embedded from the day number one they're born, and they're all driving one direction, one leader, one direction, and they don't care how brutal can be, how aggressive can be, because we don't have information from China. Chinese has, let's just say, all information from the rest of us. But now it's a moment where the people should be galvanized, particularly businesses around people like yourself. And I truly invite everybody to connect with the Edward here. I don't say this because I don't have any benefits except being truly privileged to have you as a friend. And I mean, learning from you, because the LinkedIn is a great platform to share the knowledge, maybe not publicly. LinkedIn can be misleading as well. There are some elements there, trolls and, foreign intelligence agencies and everybody there. But this will end and people will come different. However, previous experience and learning now is going to make a stronger business, stronger leader. And I invited everybody to round up around Edward here, who provides great information and, inspire the people. And that's what it's important, inspiration now. Now is not a moment for Crimea River. I was a kid, 14 years old, when Chernobyl happened, and I was a naval military school. It was a communist time, and everybody was being told, we're going to survive this. People died, it was terrible, but we survived because we have somebody on a TV telling us every day who will survive. Now we have Edward Zia.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Oh, it's an honor, Mario, and thank you. And I was just going to say, what closing thoughts do you have for the wonderful viewers out there? What are your key closing thoughts to really inspire people through these crazy times?
Look, nobody will help you except yourself. There is no magic wand. I know this. I've been bankrupt. I lost a marriage. I lost a lot of things in my life. And the only person I could trust was me. Now I'm lucky. I can turn myself a little bit, shift even in this moment. Find somebody who's going to guide you to this process, but generally guide you. That's the number one. Secondly, rely on your senses. Don't rely on social media.
Yes.
And when I say find somebody who can guide you to the hand and improvise, adapt, and discipline. Very important. So you rely on your senses. You need to adjust, adapt, and improvise by using the discipline. We are home. We are casual dressed. Yes, we are.
Huh.
But if you are appearing in a singlet every day, that's not good. Yeah.
At least we're wearing collared polo shirts.
That's true. But that's what I'm trying to say.
Not sleeve, but collared.
Yeah, like my accounts. But the thing
you
is,
got tattoos.
You need to wake up.
I've got hairy arms. You've got tattoos.
I'm not so hairy. But you need to wake up in the morning and at least send a message or call somebody. Hey, how are you? But not everybody. Misery loves company. You know that. So one will call Edward Zia. I know it's not great for him day maybe, but I know at least he's going to say, hey, Mario, how are you? My day is good. But if you wake up every day midday and you run the business from midday, go on.
Yeah. Mario, I just got to say thank you so much. This has been incredible. And just so you know, of our viewers, how can people find you and connect with you?
It's very easy. Just on my website, www.mariobekes.com.au. That's the simplest way. Or LinkedIn, or search Edward Zia. I'm his connection on LinkedIn, so you're gonna find it this time.
There you go. But I just got to say thank you, Mario. It's an honor having you with us. And Mario, I just want to say, I'm sure speaking on behalf of all our fans, we absolutely appreciate you.
Thank you, Edward, for having your podcast, and truly wishing everybody, first of all, again, thank you all medical staff across the globe in Australia and the government of Australia, police, fire brigades, and everybody emergency services. Thank you for the looking after us, and everybody inviting. Please join to Edward on LinkedIn, and you will be very grateful and happy. Thank you for having me, Edward.
Mario, it's a pleasure. Everyone, if you're listening to this recording, please smash that like, share, and comment right now. Connect with Mario. Everyone, stay awesome and love your work.
Thank you, Edward. Thank you.